Hello, I am JNY Crochet, your teacher, and today I'm going to teach you everything you need to know to start crocheting from scratch. In crochet, there are several stitches that we use to make different pieces, but there are some stitches that are called basic stitches. These are the fundamental ones used for practically any piece you make using this technique. And these are exactly the stitches I'm going to teach you today in this lesson. So, to start practicing the crochet technique here, we're going to need a hook and some yarn. I recommend that if you can buy the ideal yarn and hook, you should do so. The yarn I most recommend you buy to learn the basic stitches to start practicing the technique. If you are a complete beginner, it's a number 6 yarn and a corresponding hook, which will be 3.5 or 4 millimeters. And if you can't find the number 6 yarn and the 3.5 or 4 millimeter hook, you can buy a substitute, which will be the number 4 yarn with a 3 millimeter crochet hook. The number 4 yarn is a little thinner than number 6 yarn, but you will still be able to work with it without any problem, even if you are a complete beginner. You will find it easy to learn the basic stitches here with this technique, which is crochet. To hold the hook, there are different ways, and you will find the one that is most comfortable for you. However, there are two main ways. The knife grip, which is this one, and then you work like this. And there is also the pencil grip, which is the one I like the most and the one I recommend as well. With this grip, you can work your stitches and your pieces too. This pencil grip, in fact, is the one I like the most, the one I use the most, and also the one that most people use as well. The second thing we need to learn is how to hold the yarn. The way I like to hold the yarn is by passing it underneath here. Through the pinky, over the ring finger, under the middle finger, and over the index finger, just like this. Another very important point is that, regardless of the way you choose to hold the yarn, its end should always be turned inward here, between your index finger and your thumb. And this other end here will stay connected to the yarn ball while we work on the piece. And only at the end, when we finish our work, can we fasten off this yarn, meaning cut this end here that comes from the yarn ball. Another way to hold the yarn is to take its tip, pass it under your pinky, wrap it around, pass it under your ring finger, under your middle finger, and over your index finger, like this. Another way is to pass it under your pinky, wrap it around, pass it under your ring finger, over your middle finger, and over your index finger. And now we're going to learn how to make the slip knot, which is the starting point for almost all of our projects, including the chains. To make the slip knot, we're going to place our index finger under the yarn, and I'm going to make an E shape here. Just like this. I'm going to hold this end so it doesn't come undone, put the hook inside the E and grab the yarn. And pull it through this little E here. Hold both ends of the yarn, bring the hook up, and that's how you make the slip knot. I'm going to insert my hook again into this slip knot so we can make the chain stitch. I'm going to adjust this loop on the hook, always pass the hook under the yarn and pull it through this loop. I take the hook down and pull it through this loop. This way we keep working on our chains here. Every time we grab the yarn and pull it through this little loop, we're making a chain stitch. The number of chain stitches you'll make will depend on the project you're working on and the pattern you're following. So, you'll use the pattern as a guide to work the number of chains you need here. An important tip I always give my students is that the biggest secret in crochet is right here at the hook tip. This movement here with the hook is what will help you or get in your way when you're crocheting your pieces. So when we pick up the yarn, we move the hook like this. This little hook stays facing us, and when we pull the yarn, this little hook tilts inward toward the chain. If we leave the hook facing outward, it will get caught on this loop here. And it won't go inside here to close this stitch, to close and make our chain. And if you're enjoying this video, I'd like to ask you to share it on your social media and tag someone on Instagram who likes crochet. Or share it on your WhatsApp so other people can see and get to know this wonderful art too. Help me spread the amazing art of crochet. And if you like the work I do here on the channel, if my videos help you in any way, now you can also sponsor this channel by becoming a member for just $4.99 a month. Just click the button below to become a member or use the link in the description to see all the details. I've been teaching crochet here on the channel for over 10 years. Become a member and support my channel. Now, if you want to learn crochet from beginner to advanced, you can join Club du Crochet, which is an exclusive space with over 300 classes, organized into more than 25 amazing courses to help you become a professional crocheter, a diamond level crocheter. Click the link here in the description, go to our website jnycroche.com.br to learn more about Club du Crochet and join. Become my exclusive student, become a diamond level crocheter too. The second stitch we're going to learn here is the Picot stitch. It's also a fundamental stitch in crochet. But it's important for me to remind you that you'll need to practice all the stitches a lot. Actually, all these steps that I'm giving you here in this lesson. Holding the yarn, holding the hook, making the initial loop, making the chains. Learning crochet isn't magic, it's a process. The secret for you to really get good at crochet, for you to succeed in your learning, is first of all to have a good teacher. I hope I'm being that good teacher for you. And besides having someone to teach you the technique correctly, you also need to dedicate yourself. You have to dedicate yourself, have a lot of commitment and perseverance. You can't give up at the first difficulty you face. And of course, if you really want to go deeper, the ideal is for you to become my student. Go to Club du Crochet so you can have all the step-by-step instructions from beginner to advanced, because that will make your life so much easier. And besides that, whenever you have a question, you'll be able to get in touch with me and have my help and support. That will also make things a lot easier for you, so you don't give up when difficulties come up. Because yes, in the beginning, we have a lot of questions and a lot of difficulties. So, if you have someone by your side to help you, it will make things a lot easier. It will help you keep your energy up, keep your desire to learn crochet, and that way, you won't give up. Now, the single crochet stitch. So, we're going to start with the chain stitch. So here, I'll have the base, which will be the chains that will serve as the foundation for our stitch. We call these the foundation stitches. And I'm going to have a chain stitch here to start my row of single crochet. This chain stitch that we make here will, most of the time, already serve as a single crochet. So I make the chain stitch here. I'm going to go back here to the first, second, third, the third chain from the hook. And I'm going to make a single crochet here. We're going to make the single crochet here without wrapping the yarn around the hook. We go straight into the foundation chain. You're going to pull the yarn that comes from the skein here. And you're going to pull the yarn from the skein again, taking all of this off the hook. I'm going to make another stitch here on the side so you can see it again. So we go into the stitch. Pull the yarn from the skein here. You have this loop on the hook. Then pull the yarn from the skein again. Taking off this one and this one, you're going to take everything off the hook at once. This is our single crochet, and we can keep practicing along this whole foundation chain here. There's no set number. It's up to you. You can make as many chains as you want for the base, and you can keep practicing by making single crochets on top of these chains. Ideally, you should practice a lot, so keep doing it several times. This way, you'll get the hang of making the single crochet, you'll get used to the movement, and you'll remember it too. Because when you go to make a piece, when you follow a complete pattern, you'll have already learned the stitch properly, and then you can focus on the pattern instead of having to pay attention to the stitch. What the stitch is and what the right movement is for each one. And then, if your stitch doesn't turn out very well at first, you can undo it and do everything again, start all over again. You can start the chains again, or you can start here from the beginning of the row. You're going to make a chain which serves as a single crochet, go back here to the third chain from the hook and start making the single crochets again. Remember the little trick with the hook. If the tip of your hook keeps catching on your stitches, check if you're turning it correctly here. And then you can practice this stitch a lot here, which is the single crochet. The fourth step will be to make the double crochet. To make the double crochet, just like the single crochet, we need to have a number of chains, a base of stitches. Here. In this case, I'm using the chains here so we can work the double crochet on top of these chains, this base. So, you can make your base of chains by cutting the yarn from the row of single crochet you practiced. Or you can just undo the row of single crochet. Make the row of double crochets here if your row of chains is still nice and neat. If not, you undo everything and start again by making the base of chains so you don't mess up your double crochet practice. And then to make the double crochet here, we will always chain 3, which will already give us the height for the double crochet row. And it will also serve as the first double crochet of the row. There are other ways to start the row, which you can learn later over time. If you become my student over at Club du Crochet, you'll see that there are other ways to start the row. However, this one here is the most used. It's the easiest, it's the simplest for you to do, especially at this moment when you're starting, when you're learning the technique from scratch. So, we'll always make 3 chains to give the height of the stitch. It will serve here as the first double crochet. That's why we'll go back here to the 5th chain from the hook. So count 1, 2, 3, 4. In the 5th chain, we'll insert the hook here to make the double crochet. And then, unlike the single crochet, which we start like this without yarning over the hook. For the double crochet, we yarn over the hook once before inserting it here into the stitch. So I will always grab the yarn this way, passing the hook under the yarn. I come here to the base stitch, to the foundation chain. I insert the hook here, pull the yarn through again, always passing the hook under the yarn. I pull the yarn that comes from the skein. I'll have these 3 loops on the hook. I'll pull through 2. I still have 2 left here. I'll yarn over again to pull through these other 2. And then here I'll have the double crochet. Notice that it fits perfectly here at the exact height of those 3 chains we made to serve as the first stitch. So now in the next foundation chain, I'll do the same thing. I always yarn over the hook. You can take the yarn and pass it over the hook. Or you can just take the hook and go under the yarn. Then you'll insert it into the stitch. Pull the yarn that comes from the skein. Take 2 loops off the hook and then the last 2. That's also how we make the double crochet. Finish the double crochet here. Every time we yarn over, insert the hook into the stitch, pull the yarn through, take off 2 loops and then 2 more. Each time we repeat this step, we have a double crochet, and then you can make this whole row here in double crochet. So you can practice your stitch, getting practice, learning the right way to make the stitch here. the movements you're going to make, because this is a stitch we use a lot too. It's one of the most used stitches. Chain stitch, single crochet, and double crochet are the most used stitches in crochet. Every pattern we make will see these stitches a lot. In the beginning, when you make your first row of double crochet, maybe one stitch will be bigger than the other. You might notice that your stitches don't have a consistent pattern yet. As you keep practicing and gaining more knowledge, you'll get better over time with study and practice. By dedicating yourself, putting it into practice, and practicing the stitches, you'll improve the consistency of your stitches. Now, even after practicing a lot, after doing and repeating these stitches and these movements several times, letting some time pass as well, because sometimes we also need a good night's sleep to process things better. Then, the next day, we try again, and it already goes a little better. So, time has passed. You are practicing, and even so, you haven't improved. I highly recommend that you become my student, because in Club du Crochet, I don't just have one class, I have several classes. And they will take you from zero to advanced in crochet. And all the classes there are very detailed. This class here is an example of how it works in Club du Crochet. You can see what my teaching style is like, how I teach you. I share the knowledge that I have. This knowledge comes from more than 10 years of experience. I try to share with you as clearly as possible. So, this is a sample, just a taste, of how it works inside, and of everything you will be able to learn there. You will understand the whole structure of crochet, going from zero to advanced, understanding everything clearly, how to get your stitch tension right, how to make your stitches uniform. You will learn the traditional crochet technique in a very thorough way. My students know that the classes there are excellent. It's really great for you if you truly want to improve. If you want to go deeper into the technique, make your stitches perfect, make your pieces perfect. Learn how to alter the size of your pieces. How to change colors. In the club, I teach not just one way, but several ways to change yarn colors. Anyway, there are several techniques. The course really starts from scratch. Actually, the courses go from beginner to advanced, and you'll also have access to other courses where you'll learn to make complete pieces, exclusive ones step by step, all in detail. Plus, you'll also have access to extra materials and exclusive charts from my classes as well. So, in the club, you'll really have access to a whole universe related to crochet. And sales too. You'll also learn about pricing. Anyway, click the link I'll leave in the video description so you can learn more about the club, learn everything about the club, become my student. You have a 7-day guarantee, so you can join the platform to see how it works. If you don't like it for any reason, you can get your money back. Just contact us within 7 days from the date of purchase and we'll refund 100% of your investment. However, I believe you won't do that because the club is amazing. Click the link here in the video description. Go to my website, jnycrochet.com.br. There you'll be able to learn everything about the club and join. Take advantage of this chance, this opportunity that we have nowadays. But we don't know how long it will last, because in my time, we didn't have this opportunity to have access to classes like this one I'm giving you now for free. Not even paid courses. In my time, I didn't have access to courses. I had to learn everything from magazines. So, you can imagine how hard it was for me to learn. I even thought about giving up crochet actually, because of how hard it was to know which path to follow. And at the club, you'll find everything step by step. If this is a dream for you, whether as therapy, as a hobby, or if you want to make crochet your profession, especially if you want to take crochet as a profession, at the club, you'll find the tools to do that the right way. And now, we're going to our last step, which is another stitch that we use a lot too, which is the slip stitch. The slip stitch, I'm going to do it here with another color so you can really see it, because it's very small. It's almost imperceptible, which is why some people also call it the invisible stitch. So, use the slip stitch to go from one stitch to another in the row without literally creating a new row, but just passing through the stitches in a more invisible way. So, to make the slip stitch, we can start with the slip knot first. So do it here. It's pull the yarn, bridge, close it. Lifting it up, it's going to go in here into this stitch, and then obviously it will depend on the pattern you're following. There are several ways to make stitches, but the traditional way, the standard way, when you don't have any other information, the standard way is this one. Here, going under both loops of the stitch. So, I insert the hook here, I'm going to pull this little loop, now I have this loop on the hook, and I go to the next one. In the next base stitch, don't make any chains to go up, just go straight into the next base stitch, pull the yarn through here, and pull through all the loops on the hook. So it looks like a chain, but it's not worked in the air, it's worked into the base stitch. And it will look like this, and always going into the next stitch and pull. The yarn comes off the hook completely, and that's how you make a single crochet. And we can make a slip stitch to create a detail on the piece. The uses are varied. We will have many ways to use the stitches. You will learn this as you progress, learning new pieces, and sometimes we will learn a new pattern. And you end up learning a new stitch too, or learning to use a stitch you already knew in a different way. Another way you can use the slip stitch is in rounds. This one here is a back and forth row which stays straight like this. But we also have rounds where we use the slip stitch to close each round. I'm going to make a circle here, so I've made a little round that I'm going to finish with a slip stitch. The slip stitch is used to close the rows. So I come here. In the first stitch of the row, I pull the yarn through here, taking everything off the hook. And like this, I have the slip stitch that's helping here to finish this round, to finish this row. And then I can even start here to make the next row on my piece. When we're working, we'll see this a lot as we work on pieces with rows like this in the round. The slip stitch will also be useful when we finish the piece, so we close here with a slip stitch and then you'll cut the yarn and then you can pull it. Take this yarn here to the back. And this way, our work won't come undone here because it's secured by the slip stitch. And then you just finish it off here. We can do it with the crochet hook itself, weaving it through the stitches here, or we can also use a tapestry needle. Which is this needle here. It has this bigger eye, the tip isn't sharp, and it makes finishing off easier, but we can do it with the crochet hook too. But this one here is easier because it doesn't have the hook, so we can weave it through the stitches more easily without damaging these stitches, without getting caught. The little hook on the crochet hook makes it easier if you want to buy this hook. Here, at the Notion store, we can find it, both at physical stores and online. We can find it, online Notion stores, right? Variety store, Notion store. We can find this material here, which makes things a lot easier. It's a tool, right? Really useful for our work. So I pulled through a good length of yarn. We can finish here with a little knot and cut off the excess yarn, and then after tying it off you'll already have your piece ready, whatever piece you're making. And before I give you the last tip of this lesson, I want to ask you again to remind you to share this video here on your social media, share it on your WhatsApp, on your Instagram, because this will help me a lot to reach other people and spread this wonderful art of crochet. Besides that, if you like the work I do here on the channel, you can support my work here. By becoming a sponsor, all you have to do is click the join button, and for only Rm 4.99 a month, you will become a sponsor here on the channel. It's been over 10 years making crochet pieces, teaching people just like you, and transforming stories. There are many people who learned crochet from scratch with me here on the channel and turned crochet into not just a hobby, but even a profession. They truly learned crochet and even started making money through this wonderful technique. And besides those people who learned with me here on the channel, I also have my diamond students who are my students in the Club du Crochet and also in my other exclusive courses. But in the Club du Crochet, that's where you'll find all my courses. So, if there's one platform you need to be on, it's the Club du Crochet. In the club, there are more than 300 classes, more than 25 courses where you can learn the crochet technique with me from scratch to advanced. There's so much you can learn with me there, including how to price your pieces, how to start selling. Club du Crochet is amazing. And it's not just me who loves Club du Crochet, my students love and recommend the club too. And those were the 5 basic steps that are essential if you want to learn how to crochet from scratch, even if you don't know anything about crochet. If you practice everything I taught you today, you will definitely start making the chains, double crochets, single crochets, everything more easily. And very soon, you'll be able to start making your first pieces. And that's what my last tip for you is about. I'm here with this placemat, which is a really nice placemat. It's simple. I teach it step by step here on the channel. So you can access the lesson for this placemat so you can make your first piece in a really simple, really easy way. An easy pattern for you to follow after you've already learned and practiced the stitches a lot. You can watch and rewatch this lesson here as many times as you want so you can learn the stitch properly and practice each one of them. And then, when you feel ready and have really mastered each stitch, you can move on to the pattern for a complete piece, which could be this one here. I highly recommend this one because it's really simple. And besides this placemat, here on my channel, I've already taught several other pieces that you can look for and learn as well. But this one is perfect because it's a simple, easy, and quick pattern to make as well. You'll finish it in just a few rows. You'll see your work finished and ready. You can even start using it right away and begin receiving compliments from your family and friends. And if you want, besides this lesson, I'll leave you the link so you can join my free beginner course. And if you want to learn crochet from scratch with me, I really recommend that you go to the link in the description and click on it for the free beginner crochet course. By clicking on this link, you'll go to my website where you'll have access to my free basic course. You just need to enter your name, your email, and you can also leave your phone number if you want. Read this little text here, check the boxes, and click send. Then you'll receive access to my free basic crochet course for beginners. It's a course with 10 lessons, so you can take your first steps. So, go to the link in the description to sign up and join. If you haven't watched this course of mine yet, it will really help you on your crochet learning journey. In this course, you will learn how to hold the yarn and hook, how to make the basic stitches, how to make a circle, a square. There are 10 lessons where you will learn to take your first steps in crochet. It's a free course, so take advantage of it and go to the link here in the description. Sign up and follow along with this course so you can start learning this technique. That's all for today. Big hugs and see you in the next video.